Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to our 46th episode of New Zealand First Homebuyers Guide and Insight. I'm Juvie, and I'm thrilled to have you all here tonight for another very special discussion and another topic that I myself am so passionate to know more about.
Yes, thank you, Ate Juvie. Yes, it's a different timing today, but thank you so much, guys, for making time to view us and to watch us today, actually. To watch us
Yeah,
tonight. Yes, po.
I'm actually thankful that you're able to make it because I know it's sudden. Attorney Maricel is, of course, knowing her profession, she's very busy, and we're trying to accommodate the time of our guest. So we'll be waiting for her. I'm just updating her, but she said she's going to join us shortly.
Actually.
Just
Well, perfect. Well, everyone, while we're waiting for our guest, so of course, I forgot to even introduce myself. I'm Marianne. um, Marianne Rubia, and I am a former real estate agent, but still available for anyone who wants to know or ask stuff about real estate or buying a property in here or even selling your property in here. I may be able to still help you, even though, of course, I've left and have is having a bit of risk and a break from real estate industry, but I am continuing to follow it, and I still am connected with, of course, my colleagues in the industry. So anyone who needs a very very reliable and trustworthy agent, you know where to find me, and I know where to find the person that I will give it to that will give you or refer to you.
that's good. I thought you were going to say, I know where to find you too.
Like stalker.
But are you looking forward to going back to real estate anytime soon? Maybe next year, or we'll see how
I
it
think
goes.
yes, like I think like at the moment po ate is like I'm still enjoying my freedom on weekends.
Yeah, it's not
um
easy.
yeah, it's not easy, especially as I think like one of the reason aside from of course like with the time and everything, my kids are really really young, and I think with real estate we pretty much work 24/7.
So anytime a prospect a buyer or a seller would contact you, you try your best to.
To answer, yes, ate. And at the end of the day, at first actually when I was a new agent, I don't know how to manage my time. So like if I remember my very first listing, I will receive an inquiry at 12 midnight and I still answer.
Wow, I know.
So
Ugh.
it's quite hard to juggle. And then I think I remember because I started with my real estate journey. My son has just like only a few months old, so it's been very very challenging. Like, I'm lucky and blessed that my in-laws are just a house away from me. But
Yeah.
I think for me, I am enjoying my time with the kids on the weekend, and then coming back home at 6 p.m., just having dinner and spending time with the family, and then I don't think of anything else.
You don't expect the client to contact you anytime or anytime
Yeah.
at night. Anyway,
Yes.
when you took license as a real estate agent, you studied what course and how long did it take?
So I studied certificate of real estate. So it's a national certificate of real estate salesperson license. So that is a 6 month course. Um, unless you're really really quick in finishing all the assessments and everything. But me, because I was breastfeeding while it was COVID when I was studying real estate. So I was breastfeeding, taking care of my eldest and then my youngest, and then yeah. So I would want it to make it to take it slow so that everything I'll absorb all, like, because at the end of the day, like most of the information and the knowledge that I have to understand and learn from this is the law in New Zealand. So
Mm.
it's
So
a mixture of law and
were you studying full time or part time?
I was studying full time at but I do. all my classes
At night,
yes,
online or in a.
online, yes, because it was still COVID that time.
What about today now? I mean, after
I think
COVID,
with
many things have changed.
yes, I think if I were to, because at the moment I suspended my license, so it's on hold. But once you become a real estate agent, you kind of have to have a CPD, the CPD training. So CPD training, it is a requirement. Unless if you don't finish certain hours of your CPD training every year, you won't be able to renew your license. So if I ever to want to go back to real estate, then I'll have to activate again my license, but I will need to finish that year's CPD training
So it's a requirement to get back to complete. It's like a
every
professional
year.
say, yeah,
Yes.
professional development. That's what we call it in schools.
Schools,
And
yes.
how much did you pay for? If you don't mind, we'll just probably interview you right
So
now.
in my time, yeah, while we're waiting for attorney, so at least maybe if we have kababayans that might want to go into real estate. So
Yes,
in my time, ate, I think so that was 2021. I remember I paid in TAFE, so I studied mine in TAFE, TAFE. And that was around 3,000 something, somewhere around the 3,000 plus for the full course. And then of course a lot of people, what's funny is that I find it quite easy. Um, but I have had some friends who did that, and then they weren't, and they didn't end up kind
finishing
of
it.
passing it. Yes, because it's a lot of reading, a lot of course, like and mostly at the is more the thing is like all the assessment you'll have to kind of the answers to the question of the exams is all explanation, and it will be it has to be accepted by the lecturer. Yes,
Essay type. I think
everything
that's.
is case studies. Yes,
Oh, okay, okay. Is it
so
an
mostly.
open book? A.
Yeah, it is open book until for the finals it's not. So you'll have to be in front of your, so you have a final
Oh,
paper and a final in person exam.
oh no. Oh, well, 'cause, I can imagine the many readings that you have to do because it's about the law, particularly here in.
Yes.
Maybe it
So
would be
there's
easy for
Fair
those.
Trading Act, consumer
Yeah,
law. So
yeah.
there's a lot. Property law, Buildings Act. A lot. Like there's per assessment per unit is per law, something
Oh,
like that.
did you apply for a funding scholarship or you paid in full upfront or
I paid
stipend?
in cash ate because during that time I wasn't an NZ. Oh no, the reason why I can't is because I don't feel. Oh no, TAFE is a private school for for real estate. I think there are
Mm.
schools that have. I think AUT. I think AUT offers something that you can use like a kind of like a scholarship kind of thing, that they give like a percentage or you only pay a bit of it. I tried that, but I think because of my income, because even though I was on my maternity leave, I have my income as well, because like I
You're on
think
leave.
because
I think
yeah,
it
the
eight.
winds or something.
Ah,
Yeah.
because you were previously working.
Yes, before. So it's kind of like I was having my kind of like pay for that. And then they assessed my, I think they assessed an income or something, and then I couldn't get the kind of like a scholarship or something. There are agency like Powerful and Thompson. I know some of them, they kind of like give a, I don't know if they still offer that. They have that kind of like a booster career, something that
For their
you
age.
are they will support you while you're studying. Yes. But they,
Ah,
of course, you don't earn anything from that. They're just supporting you to kind of like get a placement in that agency while you're studying.
at least you have already your foot with them, no? Oh, there
Yes,
we go.
yes.
We've got Attorney Marisol joining us. So, would you like to introduce our?
Yes, everyone. Okay, so tonight is actually a very very good topic. A lot of our, I think I've got, like, when I was in real estate, I've got a lot of questions about this, but I always tell them I recommend you to seek legal advice about this, because I
True.
cannot give you advice about this. But we're so excited to dive into this tonight's topic. And this topic is creating a trust. So why and how to establish one. It's a crucial subject for everyone looking to protect their assets, especially, of course, houses. And I personally have this question with Attorney Maricel when I was invited to one of her event out west, and I was like, maybe we should do this into my in-laws house, but I don't know, maybe we can ask her.
Yeah, and to help us navigate this important topic, let's welcome one more time. We are so honored, that she's giving us some of her time, even if she's so busy.
Yes.
Time now on the show. Let's welcome Miss.
Yes, Attorney
Hi,
Maricel.
good evening. Thank you so much. I'm always excited to be with you guys. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes.
loud and
Right.
clear.
So I was like, oh my, what's the time? I've actually, I don't know why I've got in my head 8, but then yeah. So anyway, I don't want to waste other people's time. I've got a presentation to share.
Sure.
Is that okay to go into
Yes.
here?
Yes,
From my computer. Okay. All right.
we are able
So
to share
I'm
that.
just gonna quickly upload the file. It says to me to upload the file because I think it's gonna be easier to do so. And but then I know mas masarap ang kwentuhan is
I'm
okay.
an
So
audio
I think
visual
it's
person,
here.
so I like
Right.
it when I see something and I
Oo.
hear.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I
I
think
think so as
that's
well. Okay,
awesome.
let me just
We have it.
okay. It's uploading now. It's uploading,
Okay.
guys.
So good. How was the business
I'm not
meeting
sure.
like?
Oh, that was while we're waiting for the file to upload. It was really great. I think it opened up, number one, the discussion within the community. It opened up, you know, it's a very intimate one, but I think the discussion, because we've got community leaders coming over to attend it, and what we intend to do together, obviously, with the clan accounting, would be to roll it out more in the community. So you would see us more, talking about it, establishing your business. This includes, obviously, the taxation. Okay, so what did they say? If you're opening up a business, you need two people. You need to have a good
Lawyer.
accountant and a good lawyer to help you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we do? It's already uploaded. It says processing. So how? But I think it's the first time that I am gonna be doing the
Oh yeah, it's
visuals.
already
Oh,
on. Let
can
me.
you guys
Oh
see it?
yeah.
Yep, I can see it from here. There you go.
Oh, wow. I love it. I love
Mm.
it. Okay. Although it might be, yeah, it might be garbled a little bit, but I think that's okay.
Mm,
Right? So, okay,
security.
let
Yeah.
me just make it bigger because I could only see a little bit from my side. So, okay, a lot of, and but then I got a slides, but I normally just talk. But I think it's good to have visually what's happening. So what we're here today is, a lot of people are asking, Teka, who's our crowd? Should we speaking 100% English, or who's our crowd? We could do
Oh,
Taglish.
I think we have a lot of, yeah, we can do Taglish at no, because like every kind of like mostly at night. Or do you have
Depends on
some of
what
your
do you
viewers?
think?
I do
For some
have
of your
some
viewers,
I do have some Indian viewers.
Mm,
okay, so we
love
could
her.
okay,
Some
so
of them are
I just have
immigrants as
to
well.
double check.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. So I'm just gonna go because sometimes people would like to go on example in our native language in Filipino. So yeah,
Yes.
I
for
know.
this
Let's
topic we
not get
probably and to accommodate
okay.
everyone and we're in New Zealand. Anyway,
Yeah.
so a lot of people are asking, so what is that trust? I've been hearing, especially when we arrive in New Zealand, they said, "Oh, to better protect your family, you have to put up a family trust. You have to, to do things. So just in case something happens to you, then
Mm,
you need to do that." So the first question is, what is a family trust? Again, it's a popular method of protecting and managing assets such as your property, your money, actually your assets, any tangible things. Okay.
mm,
So how it works is that there's a person. Okay. So the person known as a settler. Okay. This is the original owner or the person who is going to be, let me just go into the third slide, and then I'm going to go back. So this is the person who is going to set up the trust. Okay. Now, what this person is going to be doing, normally it's the originator of the family trust, the one who thought about it. Okay. The one who would be, wanting to set it up. So that's called a settler. Okay. Now,
mm-hmm,
what the settler would do, transfer their assets to a group of people called the trustee. Okay, normally, and especially in a family trust setting, the settler and the trustee are normally one people or collective group. For example, me and my husband would like to be creating a trust, a family trust. So we would be the settler, and then we would also be the trustee. Okay, again, what is
mm-hmm,
a trustee? A trustee is the people responsible for managing the trust. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, that settler can also be a trustee. But again, it is good to have, apart from the trustee, what we call an additional person called an independent trustee, who isn't a family member. Okay, it could be your lawyer, it could be a person that you trust, it could be an accountant, as long as that person is independent. What does it mean? It doesn't have any stake, it doesn't have receive any benefits, it doesn't. So it's basically, a trustee that would be able to perform what you want to be doing. Okay, so going back to the second slide now, you have the trustee, so it could be mom and dad, it's Holger and me. Okay, uh, what's going to happen with us is that our responsibility is to manage the assets of the trust, okay, and according to the settler's instruction. Okay, so again,
mm-hmm.
going back, who are the settlers? The settlers is the one who thought, or the originator of the assets. Or it could be
Yeah.
another originator, but it's them who set up, okay, I want to put up a family trust because I want to be able to do this one, two, three, four, five. Now, my trustee will be the one who would manage those assets
Benefits.
according to the settler's instructions. Okay, now,
Mm,
uh, how is it going to benefit? Okay, now, this one is that you need the third person. So the third person will now would be the beneficiaries. This is the people who would be benefiting from whatever you put into the trust. Okay. So again,
mm,
there would be three main parties. So the settler, the one who set it up. It could be a person, it could be a company, it could be a group of people, it could be mom and dad, or it could be the whole family. And then the trustees, you will be, assigning a person who would be managing based on the instruction, based on what is in the trusted. And then the beneficiary would be the person who's going to be benefiting. And there's a different type of beneficiaries. Normally, if I conduct this, it's actually longer. It should be an hour
yeah.
and a half. But for the benefit of our discussion, it
Quick
would just
one.
be so people would get a glimpse of what it is about trust and what we keep on hearing about. And then the next thing is, okay, what is this? Why do we need it? Why do we need a family trust? There are different types of trust, by the way, and but our focus for today would just be family trust. One, if you want to protect your family assets. Why do you want to protect it? Maybe especially for New Zealand. New Zealand is the businesses is normally a small to medium enterprise, right?
Yes.
So if you have a family trust, so you added an extra layer of protection because all of those under family trust will not be touched in case something happens, you've got liability either through the business or personal liability because it's in a
Mm,
different structure, then it will be protected. Okay, again,
mm,
preserving important assets. What is it? For example, okay, I've got a block of land, okay, and I would have the
mhm,
ability when I'm gone to still preserve that. For example, I don't want my family, to sell it. I want, the beneficiaries to be up to the line of probably, future generations. Okay? So it could be the third generation, fourth generation, or infinite. They will not be able to sell it if I put that in the trust deed. Okay. So again, if the settler has done
instruction.
a job under the trust deed, that they will specify exactly what they want to do with the trust. That's when
Yes.
you will be able, or even as little as a painting. You go and that painting could not ever be sold. It's just gonna be for the benefit of being in the family home, etc., etc. And at the same time, as one of the benefits is providing for family members. For example, part of your family trust is that you own an asset, for example, a home, right? So
Mm,
this one is if you specified in your trust that this home could be used, by the beneficiaries up to the nth generation, then you have given them a provisions. Or for example, your stake in a business, so the income, the benefits, being able to stay there, etc. And the fourth one, I already kind of tied it up with the first one, protecting family assets against claims.
legal
And then
claim.
five would be managed, aside from safeguarding against legal claims. Going back to number one would be, how marriages sometimes would fail, and then
Mm,
protecting from short marriages, prenups, all of those things.
yes.
It then protects the asset, what you have, or for example, what if you end up, one of your kids end up marrying a gold digger, and you work so hard, under the entitlement. If you don't have
Oh,
that, all of
As a
those
care about
things.
that,
Yeah, you don't
attorney.
have to. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yes, go
um,
on, please.
that's I don't know, but knowing about the trust that protects your family properties, say for example, and then
Mhm,
like what you mentioned about
mhm.
failed marriages, or even if they are not married, are they entitled of a portion of it?
Yes, that's a different topic. You don't have to be married because under the Relationship Property Act. So the next topic that we could talk about is what is it? Separation, prenuptial, and
yeah.
relationship property. Again, it's a
Okay,
different dimension. Yeah.
that's a different one.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
it's
anyway, so
oh.
at least if you got that, if you got another topic now, Julie. So again, managing assets for others. Yeah, for example, you're the settler, you put up some, you became a trustee, then you have got the power, to manage the asset for them, and things like that. And then simplifying estate administration. If somebody dies, for example, okay, so it will not go through the estate administration, but it would go through the laws under the family trust. And then there's, obviously tax
Mm,
considerations, tax benefit, although that has been changing. And normally when I talk to this, I would rather have the accountant talk about
Yeah.
how the tax are computed, how it's going to benefit in the end, because they are benefits. Okay, obviously
Mm.
there's a obligation and benefits attached to it. Okay, now how does a trust operate? Okay. So basically, you know how you got your own personal. So I myself, I've got my personal. If I've done something wrong, I will be personally liable. Right? Now, if you create a business, okay, a business would have its own legal identity. So the business might have, might fold, but I as a person probably, if the structure is right, I am I am a separate legal entity. Okay, I could be personally liable for something that I created in the business if they found out, obviously, that I got a breach on my obligation, okay, as a person, but nevertheless it's a separate one. Now, with the trust, it is like that, kind of, almost. Okay, why? Because the trustees are the legal owners of the property in the trust. Okay, they can do like any other person or any other business. They could hold property, they could take out the mortgage, they could have their bank accounts, they could have various assets and investment. Again, what is the difference then? Because they are governed by a different law. That's basically what it is. And you could specify why. And then you remember how I talk about the benefits earlier? So it has that
Mm.
additional layer. For example, you have a business, right? We're talking about that. You have a business, um, and your business would be open to any personal liability. Okay. And then there would be succession of liability and succession of income as well. Now, with this one, there is a benefit in terms of, I could see Juvie wondering how does it benefit? Because there's a legal protection towards it because of what you have specified. So it
On that
could
trust.
not
Yeah.
be encroached with, for example, what you've said. What if, a marriage breakdown, or, a debt liability and those things, then it's protected because it has its own set of protection under the law.
Mm.
Okay? But then, obviously, um, it's also not good to put something in trust already knowing that something bad is going to happen to you. Okay, you know how you go, I'm going to put it into trust because I know that I am doing something, blah blah blah, because then uh, I, I'm probably going to go and encroach on a different topic here, but it's going to go on, it could be challenged whatever you have protected. Yeah, so you better,
Mm.
I normally say you do it not to solve a problem or to prevent something bad from happening, but you basically do it because you already, wanted to have a separation of your liability, and you want to protect things. For example, I bought a
Mm.
property. I want it to be protected from different factors, not from my personal liability, but because I want to ensure my children's children to my great grandchildren would still benefit. Yep.
Mm.
So then I would put that in place. Again, whatever you put in a trust deed, okay? So say, how do you purchase a property under trust? How do you earn within the trust? Who's going to be managing your bank account? What about the investment? Okay? There are rules and powers that you need to outline in a trust deed. So that's why it's so difficult to do it on your own. You cannot do it on your own,
Mm.
basically, because you need to specify, unless you are very good in drafting and you feel like confident that it's not going to encroach on other areas of the law, like as what we have spoken
Mm.
earlier. What about relationship property, or you did it because you already anticipating something that is going to be happening, okay, and then you want to
Mhm.
circumnavigate your way just to protect, okay.
Mm.
And then, yeah, now, let's go on um just the basic one. Appointing trustees. Okay, so when you appoint the trustee, normally, okay, it's all in a trust deed. So what is a trust deed? A trust deed is basically just, a it's like a what is it? A memorandum of understanding, okay,
Mm.
which outlines how the trust operates, the limitation, okay, of the trust. For example, you would put in, okay, property. You list down all the property that you own, and then you could list down the powers. So, for example, the power for investment, the power to make loans to beneficiary, the power to change the trust deeds, the power to pay remuneration, okay, the power
Oh.
to change, for example, change the direction for the trust. Okay, how do you distribute money to the minors?
Mm-hmm.
How do you earn an income? How do you do the, capital appointment advancement? So, and then how do you do transfer? So it's basically like a what is it, incorporation. So you'd spell out, who are the trustees, who are the beneficiaries, and what this trust could do or not. Okay. For normally, with a family trust, it's kind of like the basic one would be, I have a property A. Okay. This property A is owned by the trust. The trust the
Oh no,
trusts the trusts
yes.
are not allowed, the beneficiaries are not allowed to enjoy. I'm still here. So I said the property or the income of the trust is going to be shared over to the beneficiaries, and they would be paying such and such. They would have enjoyment of the usage of the house for lifetime. So you
Mm.
could spell out is exactly what you want, or you could say, um, you could also apportion, or the trustee could make a decision to sell the property, buy another
Mm.
property, because you could do that. Okay, so all of those things again. If the trustee doesn't say who can do what, okay, or um what is the intention of the trust, then it's not a good trust. Okay,
Mm. It's
Okay.
just kind of
can you guys
like
still hear me?
just
Because I couldn't.
an empty
Yeah.
instruction.
Um.
You need to give it specific instructions. That's why, when creating a trust, you go and you have to go, what do I want to do? Just gonna give you example. For example, I've got a house A. What do I want to do? Okay, I want to protect this from probably failed relationships for my children. Okay. So then I
Yep.
will do is that okay, this is what I'm gonna set up, you know, sanctions or instructions how to protect them, or probably, if the asset that I want, for example, they don't want, right, but it's
Mm.
so dear to me that I want to have a control over it even after my death, that I would say, okay, you could enjoy that but you could not sell it. Or if the trustee would say they have the power to sell it, to dispose it, and to dissolve the trust, you could do
So,
that as
Miss
well.
Maricel, what
So a lot
happens
of
after that? Sorry. What happens
And then the
if the
trust the
trustee
trust is no
actually
longer
lists
there.
that?
Yeah. Okay. Remember, you could add assets. Depend on what you say onto the trust. For example, you're only creating a trust because you got one property at the moment, right? So
Mm-hmm,
basically,
mm-hmm,
if you put in a power for the trustee to sell, invest, buy, then they could do so like a normal person
mm-hmm.
could do, or what a normal business could do. Then you could do that. But if you put in a trust that is close, meaning that's all you could do, you could not amend it, then the trustees, okay, should be able to just do that. Okay. So again, it depends on what you really want to do. That's why you have got a
Is
full
there
control. The
question, Miss Marisa? Is there any limit when a person can create a trust? Like, is there, let's just say, how old are you, or is there any kind of like a limitation that you cannot or you can?
There is, okay. Obviously, if you're creating it, you should be of legal age. With us, it's 18. Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
maximum duration of a trust per trust is 80 years.
Mm-hmm.
80 years. Okay?
Oh.
So those are, like the limitations that you have. Okay? Um, what else? Let you just go into that the slide and then we could go. Okay, what can you include? I think this one would help you guys. A family home,
Family.
cash, okay, bank deposit, your shares, okay, your
Mhm.
artworks, anything of value, even our designer bags you could put in. So anything that you think is of value, that you don't want to be, you want to be in control. Yeah.
A
Yes,
question,
Jovi.
attorney. What about if you have a property in the
Mm.
Philippines? You want to include that one, but your trust is here in New Zealand. Is that possible?
Yeah, it's okay. You could do that. You could do that.
Ah,
Yeah. You just need to specify what you want to do. Yes, you could do that. Yeah, because you are a domicile here, so that includes of your asset. Now,
Mm.
obviously, there probably going to be some contentions. Okay, for example, uh, any conflicts. Okay,
Mhm.
and then the court will decide whether what the jurisdiction. But basically, because you own it, you basically has given it to the trust, so you don't own it anymore. It's the
mm,
trust who owns it. Okay, so
Ah,
I
I
think
see.
that the difference there would be, okay. The question should be, are you able to transfer the ownership to the trust in the Philippines? Yeah, I think you can. Okay? As long as obviously
Oh.
you would have to change, for example, to change the name of the ownership. So, from Juvie, you put it into, like with us, it's just gonna be, it's just Vaishade Family Trust. Make it simple. Okay? With us, it's,
Mm.
the Vaishade Family Trust. So that piece of
mm,
land that I have, for example, in the Philippines, the owner of it should be the Vaishade Family Trust.
mm.
Okay, so because you need to
Mm.
transfer the ownership. Like with here, it's not going to be appearing as Mary Ann or Rubia. It's going to be,
Mm.
for example, Mama Bear, Papa Bear, you know,
Yeah.
family trust.
So
You
can you?
could create whatever name you want. Okay,
That's my question. If you can create whatever
you
name you
could.
want.
You could. It's just that I just want to make things easy, so that's what I put the Vaishali family trust. Okay, but you could do it. Yeah, you could be creative.
Yeah.
Okay, so anything of value. Okay. Now, okay, getting assets into the trust here. Assets can be moved into a trust whenever you like. Okay. Normally it's gifted. Okay. Gifted. Or you could sell it too. Now, if you sell it, but obviously, the question is, where where's the money coming from if it's a trust, unless the trust has got its money already. Okay,
Oh.
so but sometimes you could also lend. Okay, so for example, you got you're selling it to the trust, right? And then you are thinking, oh, you know what, the trust could actually make income, make money, then it could pay you up later on. Okay, so yeah, so again, there's a tax implications, and there's I think
Mm.
there's a ceiling on how much you would be paying or not. Okay, unfortunately, I couldn't say that. Uh, yeah, that's the worst thing. My maths and taxation for me is not very good. Yeah,
Mm.
so basically, it's either you give, it's either you sold it, or you buy it from the settlers, or you buy it from somebody else. So for example, I've got a
Mm.
family trust and I've got enough money. I want to buy a commercial property. I could do that. I mean, the trust could do that. Okay, they could own
Mm-hmm.
it. Okay, you could also get a mortgage coming from, with the trust being the mortgagee. So those things, and then getting money out of trust. How then? Okay, again, based on what you have set it up. Okay, um, the trustee would obey, would follow whatever it is that you put into the trust. Okay. Normally, as I said, they've got the full power to decide on how money or assets in the trust are used, unless you obviously put a limitation on what could be done with the money or assets. Okay. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the question is, could the trustee also be a beneficiary? Yes, you could. Okay. You could. Okay. Um, but normally they look at it because they're going on, because there are so many cases like that too. Oh, you're only
Mm-hmm.
creating a trust because, to get away and navigate through the system, etc. So then that is not a real trust, but it's a sham trust, right?
Yeah.
Let me just drink. Mm. And I think we had a period in New Zealand that a lot of people has done that. So they looking at it and how you really want to structure your trust. Is it for the really to create that family trust, or you're just wanting to navigate through the system? Yeah. So, and the same way as obviously you say, okay, my beneficiaries, if I've got rental properties, the rent would go to the beneficiaries. You could say that. Okay.
Mm.
Or any income derived from this property would go to beneficiaries, or beneficiaries would be paid a remuneration of blah 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 a
Mm.
month, or the trustees could decide or determine whatever the benefits would be given to the beneficiaries. So you
Mm-hmm.
could do that as well. Now, as I mentioned, it doesn't only mean that the trust would have so much mula or properties. It could also mean that the trust could owe money to a person, to a
Yes.
company, and for which those people could be asking for payment. For example, phone
Yeah.
companies, utilities. So, the person who's liable for getting those services and paying for those services would be the trust, the
From
family
the
trust.
trust.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could be a landlord. A family trust could be a landlord. You own the property. Now you wanted to rent it out. Yeah. And then
Mm-hmm.
you have to specify, okay, you everything that needs to be paid, including rates, will be coming from the money or asset of the trust. So again, it's kind of, for us, at least for Filipinos, this is a different aspect, because we're not used to, why is it then? And people and Filipinos would like own it, right? I want to own it. I want to own it under my name, because we feel so
Yes.
proud that we own it. But you, as a personal owner, you actually putting things at risk. Okay?
Mm.
So for example, you own a business, you have given a personal guarantee, for example. Somebody lend you money, for stocks, for anything, and then you say, "Okay, I'm going to give you a personal guarantee." What does it mean? A personal guarantee means that although the business owes that company as a personal guarantor, they could go after your personal asset. Now, if it's in your family trust, they couldn't. Yeah. Unless,
Mm-hmm.
as I said, you have done that, like you have done the trust immediately after knowing that you will be in trouble. So, there could be a clawback. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then tax implications. Yeah. Now, what else? Um Yeah, I think that's it for the thing, but I probably could walk you through hold on a second. I could walk you through something else in terms of the types we've provided. Normally family trust would be going on in through. Okay, uh in line with you're doing it because for inheritance. Okay. So is it just intended for inheritance? Then you could it's there's a different trust that is created when uh, things are inherited. Okay, so it's called the like intergen trust. Okay, but basically a
Mm-hmm.
family trust would be it's just a succession planning, to be quite frank. It's an asset protection, it's succession planning, and it's a base document to protect your, your lifestyle, your retirement assets, and then it would allow changes in your life that
Mm-hmm.
will not affect basically what you have established.
Yeah.
So, so so for example, your spouse would die, and then you go on, if it's not on family trust, for example, so he doesn't have a will, right? Rule of succession would be it's gonna go to the spouse, right? So
Mm-hmm.
as a surviving spouse, then all of the assets will go to you, and
Yeah.
you fell in love. Okay, you fell
Mm.
in love.
Mm.
Okay, you live together for 3 years. Okay, now you separated. Now
Oh,
you got that person has a claim, right?
yes.
You got a claim because
Yes. The
you didn't do
relationship
any
act.
prenuptial agreement, you live together. So who's gonna miss out? The people who's gonna miss out would probably be the children out of your marriage with your deceased husband. So,
Mm.
you don't want to do that. Or, probably down the line, the same thing would happen with your children. Or again, a business dealings gone wrong. Okay.
Mm.
So at least with the family trust, you could go on. Okay, my beneficiary at least would be the discretionary beneficiaries would be me and my husband, my children, okay? And then the next one would be remaining beneficiaries, because you could put that. Obviously, your remaining beneficiaries would be the children of my grandchildren,
Mm.
okay? And then
Oh.
that protects you, okay?
Miss Maricel,
Protection of
question.
yep, yep.
Well, so you know how, like I mentioned earlier when we started, when we begin, beginning of the, our
Mm.
show, my in-laws have a question. So
Yeah.
my in-law, her house
Mm.
is just under her name, and she said that
Yeah.
someone told her that she cannot put that into trust anymore because it's way too late. Is that true?
No. Why is it too late? The question
I
that you have is, why is it too late?
Yeah, that's what I asked,
There's
and then
no
I'm
too
pretty
late.
sure Miss Maricel told me that you can still
No,
did a trust, put it under a
no,
trust.
no. Why is it too late? You create, okay, imagine this. You are creating a new family trust. Okay? If I own this asset for even for 10 years or 20 years, for example, I am now gonna gift it into the family trust. Right?
Mm.
So which means the family trust owns it. So depending on what you put in to your trust deed, that's what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Ah.
so I don't think why they say it's too late. Probably they say, "Oh, you're already old." You know,
Yeah,
as long
someone
as
told
the person who is yeah, as long as the person okay, so I think I have got somebody calling me today, and I said that okay, do an EPA when you're still, of a sound mind, because
yes.
a lot of us don't want to do an EPA because we think that I'm still able to do that. But in one instance, something might change, or all of a sudden you just turn 60, 65, 70, and then your health suddenly decline. Then it's what is it? It's a barrier if
Mm-hmm.
you're only going to be signing an EPA because you need to prove that you're still of a sound mind. Okay?
Got
Mm.
So that could be contentious. Yeah.
one
So
question
I
for
don't think it's
me.
too late.
When it comes to
Yeah.
inheritance, we've discussed about the will last time. Is the will not enough when you
Mhm.
say, after I die, I'm going to leave it to my kids, not with my wife?
Uh, okay. Depends on what you want to do. For
Okay.
example, wait, as I mentioned to you earlier, you could leave it to your wife, right? And your wife could do it, could put it in a family trust. There's so many ways to protect your family. For example, if you inherited everything from your husband, right? And then you are entering a new relationship, for example. Now,
Mm-hmm.
to protect yourself and the family, assets, then we come up with agreement or a contracting out. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's a bit
con-
laggy.
yeah, contracting out agreement, which means that anything that I have acquired prior to us starting a relationship, then that's mine. You don't have anything. Then you protect yourself from
Ah,
possible
okay, that's another
changes.
way of.
Imagine if you don't. So you technically if if you trust that the other people would go on, but then again, how could you guarantee, for example,
Mm,
partners of your children, for example, all right?
yeah,
Or
that's another.
it's an asset is so dear for you. For example, you hold a block of land, right? A block of land. What if they just all of a sudden they just want to go on, oh, let's just sell it. At least you still got, control over it. Because if you've given it to somebody, you've probably left it to your kids. Okay? Your kids would be probably thinking, oh, I could just sell it now. I don't care, right? And divide
Yeah.
it up. Now, if your intention is differently, like you want to assure that your great great grandchildren would still have a place to live, regardless if they like it or not, whether they live there or not, then it's there, right?
Mm.
Unless obviously the trustees are able to sell it. Again, you could specify, okay, with this particular asset, da 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 da, we should not, because you would have to specify what you have anyway. And then obviously
Mm.
you update as well your, because you got the
Oh,
power, if your trustees are given, you got the power to amend it. Okay, as long as you
Yeah.
put it into the trust. If you put it in the
mm,
trustee, that trustee has got the power to amend, invoke, etc. Yeah, obviously,
Mm.
if you created a trust that doesn't have that power, then you don't have any power to do so. So it's
yeah,
really
yeah.
based on the response what they could do on
And
their
we
own
really
side.
need the guidance of a
So it's
lawyer.
seemingly,
Yes.
it's seemingly like it's easy, but actually it gets complicated. It normally gets complicated if there are, wishes, and imagine those people who got so many assets, etc. And you can have several trusts, by the way. It doesn't mean that it's just one trust. You could have,
Oh,
Mama Bear and Papa Bear family trust, and this would be for this property, gifting this property. You could have, Baby Shark and Mommy Shark family trust on the other side, you know. So those things, okay. And
oh,
then
probably.
there is also called,
Yes.
yeah, you the parallel
Probably
trust, okay.
last question from me, attorney. How much will it be when we request to make?
Yeah.
Depends. The magic thing is depends on how complicated you want your family trust to be.
So
Okay.
the
Ah.
bigger your asset,
So yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
depends on what you want. As I said, how you want it to be drafted.
Yeah.
I
But
think I should be taking my mother-in-law to law space soon, Mr. Attorney.
I was actually thinking of making a trust because but isa
I
lang
feel
naman.
bad because she kind of sometimes she listens to a lot of people, and I'm like, why don't you just go to a lawyer? That's more,
Yes.
that's better to listen to a lawyer than someone who says it.
Same as with will. A lot of with the wills. Yeah. I'm actually gonna be um this one, it's on. No, I will just announce it when it's ready. Yeah, I would have I will be having products and services that people could navigate through the website, because then it's going to be
Mm.
easier for them, to start. Yeah. And then but then it comes with uh what is it, a time with me too, so they would feel that, has somebody has looked at it, etc. I was just doing the pro forma, and then I will let you know, guys, so your subscriber will have the first leap on this ones.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
good. Good to
So
see.
I hope it's gonna be helpful. The time will always not gonna be enough whenever we guys are talking, whether it's home buying. Because when Juby said to me, okay, a family trust, okay, let me just go on to the basic. So who are the parties? What can you do? What can you not do? And I could not even go to the nitty-gritty of an example for, you know,
Too
um
much.
a trust deed, what's in there. Yeah, it's just gonna be a lot. Yeah.
Miss Maricel, my mother-in-law asks a question. So her question
Yeah.
is, if she applies for the trust, when will it implement? Like, when will it actually take
But
effect?
The effectivity of it will be when you specified it to be.
Ah, it's how
Yeah, so
what
it's
they want to
immediately.
specify. Like,
Yeah.
if it's immediately, then it
Yeah.
can.
oh,
Yeah.
Ah.
Actually, when you sign it, when you create it, that's it.
mm.
It's just a
Oh.
formal document.
So
Okay.
the will is void
All
once
right.
you
So guys, yeah. Okay.
oops.
So 1 minute, guys. It's 8:30.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Um.
So yeah, true. Okay,
Oh,
my tummy is now croaking.
okay, but Miss Maricel, so maybe the remaining time, maybe invite everyone, let them know that your office is near Costco, so if they want to shop it.
Ah, is that so?
Yeah, the office is near Costco. The office is near in the biggest supermarket in Northwest. So you could literally walk from Costco to my office. Okay.
Really?
And we've got the famous donut shop in the complex, and a really nice coffee shop on the side.
So
And
you
I think
open
the Westgate area is booming. Okay, the Westgate area is moving. And if you
You
need
open
us,
on the weekends,
a
Miss Maricel?
uh well, depends. So normally,
By appointment.
yeah,
okay.
by appointment. And if you need a space to hold, a small seminar, we have workspace beside law space now.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
With red out.
oh, that's
So that's where
good.
we held the last yeah, so that's where we held the last seminar.
Business
So
business.
similar size, but we wanted to be open. Yeah. For example, you want to conduct something there, because what my intention there is for people to utilize, the space. That's probably
Mhm.
going to be able to accommodate around 30 people at a time. Stretch. But then you could, if you want to meet somebody, that's how we're gonna, transitioning that. Obviously, the mezzanine would be an office, but then on the bottom part, yeah, so I
The
Oh,
think it's
that's
good,
seminar.
because I feel like, somebody actually gave me like an idea, because we use it for um a photo shoot. And I'm going on, oh, that could be, you could even have, a pink breakfast there, probably, if you want.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's enough or small enough or cute enough. If you dress it up, that's fine. So for example, you want to have something there, meet with the teachers, you know,
mhm.
or whatever there. You could have
Yeah.
a workshop there. We've got
Or
chairs and we've got the
buying
tables. But if you're happy
seminars.
to buy, yeah, yeah, because I
Oh,
want it to be an accessible, as I said. Yeah.
oh, that's thank you for sharing that. Now we have an idea in case we have gatherings and we will just reach out to
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time
You
so
don't
much,
want it,
attorney.
like, if you don't want it to be in a community center, you want it a different vibe, then you could do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a professional one. Yes, awesome. Thank you.
Thank
That's
Okay.
lovely
you.
and meaningful
Thank you.
insight
Thank
from
you so much, and thank you
attorney.
for waiting for me.
Not a problem.
That's so
You
good,
too.
Miss Maricel. I'll take my mother-in-law at law space.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Thank
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. We've already got her off.
It's gone.
All right. Oh, good. Right. There you go. Wow. What? So much
That was a
information.
good one. Actually, like that was really really helpful, Miss Ate Juvie, because my mother-in-law really needs, she really needs a lot of information about this. But at the end of the day, it's quite hard for her to understand because of course, like it has to be either Chinese or in English.
Oh.
But I would really want to help her. I always tell her that it's protection for the boys, which is all her kids, not to us as wives, because at the end of the day,
Mm.
even though we're in-laws, we're still not part of that, so it has
Yeah.
to be protected for her kids as well. So yeah, that was
So
very helpful.
I've got more questions, but then it's more personal. It's personalized, and I
Yeah.
don't bother her with that one. I just need to see her in person and, get her time. Okay. So thank you
Yeah.
so much again, Attorney Maricel. And I'm actually expecting her to join us again one time for another
Yes.
legal
A
advice.
lot
Anyway,
more. And relationship act. See, this is why I think is so
yeah,
fun.
there's more. I was expecting that anyway. Thank you so much, Marianne, for tonight. And
Thank
thank you for
you.
our viewers as well. And I hope you've learned something from that. And if you need more help, legal advice, feel free to reach out to Attorney Maricel. Until next time, we've got another topic next week. Updates on insurances.
Pregnant insurance.
Yeah, kasi tumaas na lahat eh. Yung
Yeah,
height.
oh, even yeah, it might be, yeah. And
So we'll talk
everyone who
about
doesn't understand that when buying a house, you'll need to have insurance.
So true. And I've got another upcoming podcast this Friday with the teacher in New Zealand as well. So from boardroom to Kiwi classroom, it's a very interesting topic, especially to those moms or anyone who would like to change career here in New Zealand. All right. See you again next.
Thanks, Mr. Veep. Thanks, bye, guys. See
Bye.
you.
See you on Friday
Good
and on Wednesday.
night.
Oh, how do I turn it off?
Bye, ate.